I'm excited to be with you this week to talk about and to drop in a little bit deeper into the power of being human in our parenting. So many of us, me included, have this deep, deep desire to show up for our children in the most incredible ways. Of course, we do. We want to offer them unconditional love. We want to create an environment where they can be the best of who they are. Our awareness and our consciousness are deeply rooted in wanting to create this world where our children can be free, can succeed, can open their hearts and their being to their brilliance. And yet, we are human. And in our humanness, what we get to look at over and over and over again is our conditioning, all of the things that we learned, all of the beliefs that we have about how that is going to manifest or how that's going to look. And therefore, we end up in the weeds often. I always love that phrase when I was waiting tables. They were like, oh, you're in the weeds because you thought you could handle something. And then you got too many tables. And next thing you knew, you were really, really struggling to keep up, to be on time with the tables, to take care of people. And people started getting a little irritated, and we'd go back in the kitchen and we would say, oh man, I'm in the weeds. Can someone help me? And I noticed in my parenting that that's what happened often. I found myself in the weeds because I had the best intention. I felt that I could handle what was coming. And then I would get emotionally triggered and would find myself in the weeds. And often there wasn't anyone to ask for help because I had this idea that I wasn't human on some level, that since I had taken on this conscious parenting, and especially since I was supporting other parents, I, instead of reaching out and seeking support to be human, I found myself beating myself up for being human. So I'd love to offer this to you during this holiday season that we are in, that being human includes all of who we are. We're nice and we're mean. We act generous and we act stingy, that we're happy and we're sad, that we have this full spectrum of our emotional being, and that this is what it means to be human. So I'm going to take a little sip of water here. I got something going on. So this week, see what it's like to sit down in the beauty of your humanness. Because the more you're able to sit down in the beauty of your humanness, you'll sit down in the human nature of your children. You'll be able to sit down in that they're human and they're learning about the world that they've come into, all the conditioning, all the expectations, all the pressure. And your heart will open in compassion to yourself and these beautiful beings that you get to go along with on the journey. I just decorated the Christmas tree with my beautiful 21-year-old daughter, and it was so touching to see her maturity, her growing into her being, her expressing her brilliance. We have these beautiful little Chinese characters that I brought from China when I went to get her. And there's 21 of them. They're little Chinese dolls that we hang on the Christmas tree. And every year she marks the year. And this was her 21st year. She has grown into her maturity, her being. And of course, she's human, so she's going to keep growing and experiencing support and challenge. And yet it was such a beautiful time to sit back and watch and experience my daughter stepping into her fullness after living with a very human mom, a mom that experienced many ups and downs in my journey of single parenting. We were able to talk about those some today. She said, some of my TV shows I watch, they're really concerned about their parents' financial situations. And she's like, I never worried, but I also never asked. And I just looked at her and smiled and said, yeah, there were slim times. And yet that was my gift to you, to create this environment that I could where you didn't have to worry about that. So it was so touching just to be able to share that she said, yeah, it feels like we've always had enough. And I said, yep, that was what I wanted to offer and for you to experience, that we always had enough. So entering into this holiday season, I offer you that you are enough, especially in your humanness, and that you can relax into enjoying this holiday season. And I look forward to spending a little time with you. I'm going to take a little time off, but I'm still going to show up here because I so enjoy being with you, sharing with you. And yeah, happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Pure Joy work.